Hello everyone, I am Gabriele, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about balance. Probably I am a bit confused about balance, or at least you have a better, clearer idea of what balance might be in game. I see different types of balance, but first I want to start about different types of game modes. At the moment, the Isle, to my understanding, all of these, big disclaimer, all of these are just my opinions on based on what I've read from the Isle code, based on my experiences playing the game, based on these two things mainly, and from what I've read on your comments. Now, from your opinions as well. So, game modes. The Isle as Evrima at the moment, Evrima is a game mode, one type of game mode. What is a game mode is like in Legacy you have a death match with a non-map. It's you are in a place with not a map. You just choose your playable, you choose your growth, and you fight each other. That might be one type of game mode, fighting only. The other type of game mode you have in Legacy, for example, is survival. You choose the map, which is V3, I think. Officially at the moment it is V3. Then you can play in Nathaniel. I'm not an expert on Legacy, by the way. So, and you play survival. You grow your dinosaur from 0 to 100%. You get to choose from an incredible roster, plenty of dinosaurs. The only thing is that compared to Evrima, Legacy at the moment, survival mode I'm talking about, which is the oldest branch, and it's been left aside from my understanding again. Legacy has kind of a shallow gameplay. You do not have many abilities. Your playables do not have many abilities. Utahraptors can jump. Other playables can probably jump. Other dinosaurs, I'm not sure which ones though. And generally speaking, you can just bite. And with 30, you can use claws. Probably you have a couple of more different abilities, but the gameplay in itself is kind of very slow if compared to Evrima. Now, Evrima is the new branch. Everyone is playing or will be playing in Evrima. Evrima is a survival mode. The developers are focusing on this game mode, survival. In here, from my understanding, they are focusing on one thing at the moment, for the sake of good development and for the sake of building a good balance in between the player base while playing Evrima. At the moment we are playing on Isla Spiro. I do not remember which version 4 point something, version 3 point something, I don't remember. They are looking for a balance. Well, actually more than one balance. The stress test servers made up plenty of enthusiasts, plenty of content creators. Stress test servers are there to help figure out a certain balance between same tier dinosaurs. Now, this is one type of balance. When you get in a fight, if you get in a fight, who is going to win, or who has the chances to win more likely? Who has the chances to run away from others more likely? Who has the chance to just perch on a rock? Who has more chances of running away? Who has more chances of winning a fight in a face tank situation, or even in a situation where you cannot run away, you are forced to stay in one area? This is a certain balance in a same tier dinosaur. You define a same tier, to my understanding, mostly at least, between 3 different categories: terrestrials, aquatics, and flying animals. Now, we might say that each of these categories is you can find tiers in themselves. Let's not talk about aquatics, let's not talk about flying, because probably they will have different tiers in within themselves, because Pteranodon has a very long growth stage for its attack power, for example, compared to Adriosaurus. I mean, Adriosaurus can grow in how long? 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It is a terrestrial, cannot fly, doesn't stand many chances at visiting the whole island as fast as a Pteranodon. But Pteranodon is weaker in a fight, in a 1 versus 1 fight against a Diosaurus that cannot fly. Pteranodon grows in roughly 1 hour for just 45 points of life, for example. So I'm gonna talk just about fighting balance between balancing fights between terrestrials of the same tiers, and the same tier is given by roughly the same growth stages, and the ability of running away and the ability to fight back, kinda. So we can put in this balance, fight balance wise thing, Utahraptor and Pachycephalosaurus roughly in the same tier. Then Utahraptor can run away, and Pachycephalosaurus can fight back pretty well, but cannot chase after any Utahraptor unless it fractures. Fracture is really strong. Now, then we can put in the same tier roughly Carnotaurus, 2 hours 15 growth time, and Tenotosaurus, 1 hour and 45 minutes growth time, roughly. So Carnotaurus can be put in the same tier as Tenotosaurus. Tenotosaurus doesn't stand any chance at running away. They can wall up, they can perch on, they can go and defend themselves by rocks with tail out, so they are pretty strong at defending themselves, but they are not so strong at running away like Carnotaurus. So carnivores are faster in order to hunt prey, but at the same time they cannot fight as successfully the same tier dinosaur, for example, unless you are in a group. Now I'm talking about just solo fights, not talking about groups, not talking about numbers. If we talk about numbers, if this is one type of balance you want to have in game, fighting balance or running away balance, kind. I mean, you need to fight back, but then we talk about numbers. 2 Utahraptors are more than able, in my opinion, if they sync their attacks, if they bait 1 Pachycephalosaurus, 2 Utahraptors are more than able to take down Tenotosaurus, are more than able to take down a Pachycephalosaurus. If they sync their attacks, if they do not make any mistake. That is a perfect gameplay. These are just my opinions, mind it. Carnotaurus instead is just a small game hunter. You cannot go after Stegos because of your maneuverability, and you need to be careful around Pachys as well. 2 Pachys can actually stand very good chances at taking down a fully grown Carnotaurus. At 2 hours and 15 minutes growth time dinosaur can be taken down by 2 Pachycephalosaurus, very skilled. At this point we are talking already about numbers. So I have talked about balance in fights, depending if you are solo or with other people, and now it's about balance. These are just my opinions, mind it. I might be very wrong about them. It's just my opinions based on what I've heard down. They are based on what I have experienced in game, and based on what I've read in the Isle Discord. So the other type of balance we have, or developers want to achieve, at least in Evrima, in this survival game mode, that might be balanced around numbers. Now, I think that developers, for a good development's sake, so for a good bug testing among all of us players that are playing in this beta, a beta game, a beta version of the game, which is taking a long time, but come on, it's a small team, so cut them some slack, in my opinion, unless you find some good developer. Or if you are a developer yourself, well, just propose yourself to them. Probably you are good enough to enter their team. Now, they have repeated this multiple times. Now, talking about numbers, I think that what developers, this is just my opinion, are trying to achieve in this game mode in Evrima, that is the branch in development for now, until the game is out of early access, until the game is a bit more complete. Developers are trying to have a balance of players picking up certain playables. I mean, if you have 50% of the server picking up just Deinosuchus, it means that there is something probably wrong in the long run. I'm talking about in the long run. If Deinosuchus just came out now, of course everyone is going to try it, but in a couple of months since Deinosuchus came out, for example, you have seen a decrease in Deinosuchus players. Or Pachycephalosaurus. When Pachycephalosaurus came out first, we had a huge spike of, well, in game, I bet the Isle game had a huge spike of players playing Pachycephalosaurus. Now that is not more the case. People are actually scattering to see what dinosaur fits more their gameplay. For example, I do like Deinosuchus a lot because I get to play solo and I get to use its longevity very effective by playing solo, but that's just because it fits more my gameplay. Plenty of you might say, oh, I do like Pachycephalosaurus. It's not as fast as any carnivore, but it can deal a ton of damage, and if you are playing in group, you are super strong. Or you want to play Utahraptor, you like to play in groups, you like to pounce things. So this might fit your type of gameplay. What I see is that excluding certain categories, certain tiers, I'm gonna put all of these 3 categories all together, so aquatic, flying and terrestrial category, I'm gonna put them together now and say that certain tiers belong to these. They have the same tier even though they belong to different categories. Now, so we have sorry, I lost the thread. We have the a tier of a very low tier, which might be Pteranodon, fighting wise. Again, fighting wise, only fighting wise, and probably Driosaurus is a superior category than Pteranodon, fighting wise. Just face tanking / you cannot go after a certain area. You need to stay in a certain area, in a certain zone. So fighting wise, let's say fighting wise, kinda, which might be a bigger topic at the same time, but fighting wise, Driosaurus, Pteranodon and Ipsilophodon can be put, well, Ipsilophodon even a lower category, so Driosaurus and Pteranodon in the same category, and Ipsilophodon as well. I'm gonna put them, these 3, in one special low category. They might be very strong in certain conditions when playing survival. For example, Pteranodon as a scout, yes, I've said it, because you do not trust anyone in game. In a survival game, you rely only on one rule, the rules that mechanics give you. You cannot fly with Deinosuchus, for example. Yeah, you'd say, oh, duh. Yeah, but that's a rule, kinda. That's a rule, kinda. So no rules for more thrills. That is just my opinion again. Again, my opinion. I know plenty of you do not agree with this. It is just my opinion, mind it. Just my opinion. If you beg to differ, write in the comment section below. Evrima might need in future a private server, a very big private server, where people like-minded that want to play around with role-playing, that can play all together. At the moment there is no such a thing because Evrima is still work in progress, but hopefully in future all like-minded people that like to role-play, they might get a very big private server that someone is gonna create. I really hope so. I mean, fingers crossed, I do hope so. Because otherwise, people that like to play with no rules will clash with people that like to play with rules in official servers that do not have any rules. And this can be kind of problematic in the long run. But again, in the long run, I bet someone will create a huge server in Evrima, or at least in the new branches, in the new game modes that Evrima will offer, that the Isle will offer aside from Evrima to players. Again, so about numbers, I want to talk about other things, but about numbers. What I think developers are trying to achieve bug-wise, in order to encounter more bugs with the different types of playables, with the different types of mechanics, with the different types of possible gameplays, due to a more varied type of gameplays and layers of gameplay, developers want everyone to play each single playable, and they do so at times even nerfing a playable that you might say, oh, that playable should have a stronger bite, that playable should be faster, that playable should be actually not broken like that with that weak bite. I'm making just examples. So let's say if in update 2 everyone was playing Carnotaurus, now less players are playing Carnotaurus because its bite force got nerfed from 350. I don't know if you remember, Carnotaurus bite force was 350, was just a huge bite force, and actually had a very decent turning radius compared to the turning radius Stegosaurus had at that time. Now everyone was playing Carnotaurus for just 2 hours and a half, I guess, at that time, or 3 hours, but Carnotaurus had a huge bite force in the end. Everyone was just playing Carnotaurus. You were just super fast, as you are now, more or less. All speeds have been nerfed from some time ago, but again, they are nerfing certain playables in Evrima, in this mod, to have a more balanced roster of players, to force players to actually not focus on the strongest playable, but to focus on the ability they like the most, that they think it might fit their gameplay. So they do not play just because you are a super strong biter. We still have plenty of Carnotaurus players, for example. In Evrima, if you play, you will notice 10,000 Carnotaurus players, but they are a lot less than before. Sometimes you have huge packs of Pachys, huge packs of Utahraptors, decent sized packs of other species like Stegos, like Dinos. Again, in comparison, I still see plenty of Deinosuchus players compared to how many Stegosaurus players I see around. Now, this with some exceptions. Of course, sometimes you might say, alright, yesterday I saw 10 Stegosaurus altogether. These are exceptions. These are people that are playing through voice chat. It's impossible to have 10 Stegos altogether. I mean, very probable, but very improbable. Probably it's possible, but very improbable. Very improbable to see 10 Stego random players all in one place. Probably most of them were just a group of friends playing together. It's instead way more likely to see plenty of Deinosuchus players. It's more likely to see plenty of random Carnotaurus players, because people, this community at least from what I have seen, favors way more carnivores, at least new players, casual players, or even me. Come on, even me. I favor more carnivores than herbivores. You might say, oh, I do favor herbivores. Yes, you are good. You are good. Everyone is good. You choose the playable you think is best for your type of gameplay. Thanos might be good for little groups gameplay. Deinosuchus might be good for solo gameplay because of their longevity. Carnotaurus might be good in smaller groups. Utahraptors and Pachys might be good in huge swarms. And with these types of nerfing, depending on the growth time, on the tier of each playable, and with certain types of bite nerf or speed nerf, or any type of nerfing or boosts developers give to certain playables, I think it is just to make people choose their type of playable, not based on utter force or on what it was like millions of years ago. I mean, these are all reptiles. I don't see any one of them that has feathers at the moment, so it's a twist developers have on dinosaurs. This is just my opinion anyway. And in future we're gonna see cannibals, please, with an evolutionary tree, and mercenaries where you can craft things. But this is far away in future. I hope to be still alive. Well, that's all for today. Of course, all of these probably I've missed some stats like diet, where depending on where certain nutrients are placed may make your growth more difficult, so you can control how many people play that playable depending on how hard it is. Well, that's all for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for understanding. Again, I mean to offend no one with any type of gameplay. You can play as you wish. I don't like certain type of gameplay, like you invite others and then afterwards you kill them, for example. But if someone does that to me, it's kind of, I consider that as my fault because I trusted that random player. But here we just enter in other terms of how to survive in game. This was how I think balance is in the end. So first, fighting balance. A balance in fights. It's one where you can either run away or you can either fight, depending on either your skills, but at a 100% growth stage with everyone average / good skills with that playable, in the end it resolves to two things: how likely it is for you to defend yourself or to run away, or to fight back and put up a decent fight in the same tier. This is one type of balance, in the same tier. The other type of balance that is related to how many players playing a certain playable is about nerfing or boosting certain dinosaurs of the same tier in order to not have 10,000 of players playing just that dinosaur. It's not good for the variety of gameplays, because different in the end it will sort out just let's say that everyone is just Deinosuchus, everyone is just Carnotaurus. It's kind of boring. Who are you gonna fight as a Carnotaurus? Oh, I'm gonna fight a Deinosuchus. Oh, I don't have any chance fighting a Deinosuchus. But what if there were a Tenotosaurus? Oh, Tenotosaurus, nobody plays Tenotosaurus. How am I supposed to find a Tenotosaurus with a Carnotaurus if everyone is playing just Carnotaurus and Deinosuchus, for example? This is an extreme example I'm making. You can use the type of dinosaur you want, but that's why you need to have a variety of options to choose from, depending on what type of ability fits you better. Of course, people will always choose the strongest dinosaur, but again, Carnotaurus do not stand a chance of catching any Utahraptor that is zigzagging in a forest. Deinosuchus do not stand any chance of catching anything on land. Well, that's another topic. We are lacking some aquatic playables, but everything is work in progress. It will take years, but yeah. One thing this game is very difficult. It's very difficult. It's lacking guides because it's work in progress. And many people, once they buy it, they have the impression that it is easy. Or once they get in Evrima, they think it is easy, but it's not. It's got a lot of layers depending on the different types of playables. Well, these are the two balance things. One, fights. The other one, the number of players that choose a certain playable. So the number of playables, different playables that you have actually in one server. That's all for today. Consider subscribing my channel. Let me know what you think about this and have a great day. Bye bye.